Hello, and welcome to an all new episode of The Imperial Collector. I am your host, Oliver Dean McCurry, The Imperial Collector, and we've got a little bit of a different special episode for you today. This is not in the regular line of episodes. The next regular episode will be coming soon, possibly this month or definitely next month, and that will be in the regular episode lineup, and we will be doing a tour of the collection room as I promised during that time. But as many of you know, May is Mando May, which means May the 4th is Monday. This is a special May the 4th episode. May the 4th be with you. But also, it's Mando May because The Mandalorian and Grogu new movie comes out Memorial Day weekend, starting Friday, May 22nd. If you hadn't got your tickets, go get them now because they are selling out. Today is a special Mandalorian and Grogu episode. We're going to go over some various collectibles that I have from the Mando universe, some things that I know will be in the new movie because they are from the new movie, and some items that I think will show up in the new movie just based on trailers and things. Now, this is just skimming the surface of the Mando verse, as they call it, collectibles that I have. We'll be going over all those at some point, and we'll definitely catch a glimpse of all of them during the actual viewing of the entire collection room. In fact, my wife reminded me of this also. The Mandoverse, or the starting of the Mandalorian TV show back in 2019, is actually what rekindled my love of Star Wars and definitely started back my collecting of Star Wars. It started from there, but if you know me and you've seen these episodes, I go all over the place in the Star Wars universe, and I have collectibles from every bit of the Star Wars universe, from the 1977 first Star Wars, which was then later called Star Wars A New Hope episode, all the way down to figures from Skeleton Crew, which was the one with it was a live action show, but it had like children in it that were having an adventure. It's a little bit of a different type thing. As well as now we have Maul Shadow Lord, is the latest thing that has come out, featuring some background of Darth Maul. A few years after his battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi, when he comes back to life. We really wasn't dead, we find out. But more for that later. There'll be a Maul episode as well. So, to kick things off today, we're going to get started with, well, one of the most important things to a Mandalorian, not just Din Djarin, the Mandalorian from the TV show, his helmet. And this is a Black Series. What they call Black Series is kind of the premium series of figures and items in the Star Wars universe from Hasbro. This is a Black Series Mandalorian helmet. And you'll see, now it's not made of metal, it is plastic, but it does kind of look metal. It does catch that shine in the light like it would be metal. It has that sheen on it, and it's just like the Mandalorian's helmet. Now, unfortunately, because I have all this Star Wars knowledge in my brain, and my head is so big, this helmet does not fit on me. But the average person's head, yeah, it would fit on. And you do see, even on the inside, if you can look here, it's even got the inner workings of the actual Mandalorian helmet from the show, with like wires and gears and things in here, as well as the padding. Right there, you'll see it's kind of an orange color that would fit over his head, kind of a padding. And I don't have it turned on because it can't fit on my head, but it does have voice changing ability to change your voice to where you sound like the Mandalorian, as well as there is an attachment on the side for the flashlight that he had as well. I just don't have that out, but it's a very detailed helmet. It's very heavy, kind of like it could be metal, and that's pretty cool to have the Mandalorian's helmet. Now, I do have a lot of other helmets from all of Star Wars, as well as the Mandoverse, that we will go over at a later time, but I just wanted to start with that one. Next, we'll have something that is definitely from the movie, and little other things from the movie. My little buddy up here. If you know Star Wars down to the sequels, the episodes with Kylo Ren and Rey and all them, you'll know what this is, what species of alien this is. This is an Anzellan. And the Anzellans, let me just take this off. It is magnetized onto my shoulder. The Anzellans are droid smiths. They work on droids and they work on machines, and especially droids though. And they actually, one called Babu Frick, which I do have a couple representations of in Funko and a little doll that talks of him, worked on C-3PO in one of the movies to help him rewrite his code to help find a Jedi Wayfinder. A Sith Wayfinder. That's part of that. And we'll go over that when we go over the sequels later on. But that's where we first see an Anzellan. Now, they do crop up again in Season 3 of The Mandalorian, where they actually work on IG-11. You'll remember IG-11 that we went over when we were doing unboxing the Hot Toys. IG-11 started out, you see him in the very first episode of The Mandalorian, where he was actually hunting for the child. Later on, you'll find out his name is Grogu, as a bounty hunter, IG-11. First, you see an IG unit as IG-88. He was a bounty hunter in the original trilogy of Star Wars, and he showed up in a few games and things along the way. But then we have this unit, IG-11, which does show up, like I said, in the first episode of The Mandalorian. Quill works on him some, and then later on down the line, the Anzellans work on him and make him into be like a riding unit, like a robot that Grogu can sit in, and he's controlling. He doesn't actually have a droid brain anymore. He's more like a vehicle. So that's pretty cool. So then we see the Anzellans. And this one in particular is named Clang, and he is just from Walmart. He's called a perched figure is what it's called. You can find those right now at Walmart. There's a big display of them. But we do have more representations of Anzellans. And I think these are the ones that are in the movie from what I'm seeing. This one came with this figure that you'll see here that will be in the movie. And you'll notice his shield, which the armorer gave him that in that last season of Mandalorian as well. And this is a figure where he can actually hug the Anzellan like that, because in the show he said, "Bad baby, no squeezy." So that's that Anzellan there, as you'll see. We do have him. That's just a little plastic figure as well. And this is, of course, a little figure from Hasbro. It's just a little plastic figure. It does have a little cloth up at the top here, but you'll see that he does have that new armor. There was an older one that I also have where he didn't have the armor, but it's just plastic there. And he does talk. I can turn that on. And when he does the hands, there's actually a magnet on here where I think you turn it on where the Anzellan puts his arms up. Yeah, and see, when you stick him up to it, it does his voice. So it's really kind of cool there, the way that works. So that's a neat one there. And I do have a few more representations of Anzellans. Now, this is a Grogu with an Anzellan. This was called the Star Wars Bounty Collection. And it started out primarily with a bunch of little Grogus when he was still called the Child. And there's a ton of these. I have them all. You'll see them right back here. They're in that wooden, it is wooden, I don't know if you can tell that from here, but it's like a wooden stand here. You can see a few of them there. I do have all those displayed, and we'll go over those later. But I wanted to show you this one because he does have an Anzellan. And in particular, it's this same one here that you'll notice that's on this, called the Star Wars Bounty Collection, that he does have here. As well as, there was a Funko Pop from Season 3 of The Mandalorian, and we'll definitely go over all the Funkos from The Mandalorian and the Mandoverse in general, which includes Ahsoka and the Book of Boba Fett, because definitely I have all the Funko Pops, and there's a ton of Grogu, Baby Yoda, the Child, whatever you want to call him, as well as Mandalorians and all the characters. But this one in particular, again, has that same Anzellan right there. You see him, a bad baby, no squeezing. And Grogu almost thought of them like as his pet. So that was kind of funny. So that's another representation of the Anzellan. And the last one I have here, I got so much stuff I got to figure out where to put it. The last one I have here are actual, we've seen these before in one of our episodes when we did the IG-11 episode, because these three Anzellans, droid smiths, came with the Hot Toys version of IG-11. So you can see these are actually 3 different Anzellans, and they're very detailed little figures. And compared to the height of the IG-11 from Hot Toys, this would be the right size to scale from the IG-11 figure, because the IG-11 figure is about 1.5 feet tall. So this would be the right comparison size. And you'll see these here. And I think, yeah, this one is the one that is the same as this one and the one from this and from the Funko Pop. And I believe, like I said, his name is Clang, I think. And I think in the movie, he actually has a little different little headgear on. But those are those 3 there, which is pretty neat from representing the Anzellans. The next thing we'll go over here, putting those aside, is hopefully, spoiler alert, you have seen the previews and you know that Din Djarin has back his famous Razor Crest ship. Now, it's not the original because it was blown up in an episode, I believe, of the Book of the Boba Fett or Season 3 of Mandalorian. I'll have to go back and check that. But this was a Lego version that they came out with from the original series, Mandalorian series, of the Razor Crest. And I just thought it was cool. I wanted to go ahead and show you it now. It has a lot of working parts. It has like a docking bay here that opens on the side, and you can close that up like that. It's got, like on the back, you can see where it's got the ports for the engines, and it has a little dock, the little landing gear that is on the real one, and it's just kind of cool. And you'll see in there is Mandalorian and Grogu. I hope you can see that there. Now, the difference in this Razor Crest, and I don't know how he gets a new one. You know, this is an old ship. It's a ship that technically is not in use anymore as far as in the timeline, but they get him a new one. And we see that new one in the form of a Funko Pop that introduces a character that we've all seen before if you're a Star Wars fan, including all of Star Wars, and you've seen Star Wars Rebels. You see his new Razor Crest in Funko Pop form with Zeb Aurelius driving it. And this is it looks like they've got him a brand new Razor Crest. And it has the yellow on it that would have originally been on this one. In fact, you can see on all the iterations, this is the Lego version. I don't think I've shown you any Legos that I have before, but I have a lot of those we'll go over later as well. You see like there's like some brown markings up at the front. And it looks like that at one point there was some paint on this, but it's rubbed off. And if you go back, my wife and I are going back and watching the Mandalorian episodes again, and I did notice that on there, you can tell that it used to be yellow paint on his Razor Crest, but it's just so old it's worn off. Well, evidently, they either build him a new one for nostalgia reasons, or they had one stuck somewhere that looked brand new. Because that paint's on there and it looks nice, and if you look in the previews of the movie, yeah, it looks like a brand new Razor Crest. And of course, Zeb is back. He does show up in a season of The Mandalorian, and if you've seen those previews, like I said, you'll know he'll be in there as well. So I wanted to show you that. He has his Razor Crest back. A few other things, just cool little things from The Mandalorian in general. Now, this was a Funko Pop. Excuse me, a Funko Pop, no. This was a little figure, and this is probably my favorite of all the little dolls and figures of Grogu that they've made. Again, when they made this one, he was still called the Child, but he could do a lot of different things by tapping his head. And don't tell me that after all this time, oh, there we go. I thought his batteries had died. This is a very realistic version of Grogu, with his moving his ears, his mouth, his head. He'll do the Force. There you go. And if you lay him down, He's snoring. You can hear him sleep, and his ears are moving, and his eyes are shut. And you just set him back up, and he should wake up. He's awake. So that's just a cool one that I wanted to show you. And I'm actually going to take this one with me to the theater. My son and I will go and we'll dress up a little bit. He might wear the Mando helmet. I'm not sure. A lot of theaters won't let you do that for safety reasons. But that's just cool. I wanted to show you. Like I said, just to skim the surface of the Mandalorian and Grogu and multiple Mandoverse figures that I have. But because of the new movies coming up and because of May the 4th, I wanted to go over these with you now. Now, some other little collectibles that I have, and like I said, I've got tons of things from fig pens to Chia Pets. I got a Chia Pet. Excuse me, my nose itches. My sister-in-law gave me a Chia Pet for Christmas. I believe it was last year or the year before. I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm going to, but it's actually cat grass, like catnip that grows up at it for your pets, and I do have 2 cats. So that's pretty cool. So I have a varying just multitude of Mandalorian and Grogu items, but these are called fig pens, and they're actual pens that have backings on them. They're made out of metal that you could take out. If you look in there, you'll see that there's like a backing in there that you could take out and wear on a lapel or on a shirt or something. But I just leave them displayed here because they're so cool. I do have the Mandalorian, and I do have, at this point, he was still called the Child. This was from season 1. You see like the new back, and they're in like a plastic little clear case, acrylic there. So I thought that was pretty cool. I would show you. Now, a couple other things here. This is from the actual new movie. If you know from watching this show, you'll know that there was an episode we had here where we showed you all the different prams that Grogu has had during the run of the Mandalorian TV show. Well, now in the movie, he has another new pram. And if you've watched all, again, spoiler alert, if you've watched all the trailers, you'll know that I think he actually takes this one from somebody. This is not one that was built or anything. There was a little child that you see in this pram. I can't remember what the name of his species is, but he's the same as Greedo. If you'll remember Greedo from the first movie. But there's a baby one of those in here, and he's in it, and somehow the Grogu gets it, and he's flying around in it. And this is a Funko Pop version. You'll see it's pretty cool. It actually has handles on it where you could almost push it like it was a baby stroller, which is what it is. All of his prams have been like baby carriers. So that's just a neat Funko version of that. And I did get a shipment of ones from the actual movie. This is another one. Now, this is we have seen these in episode 3. They don't really go over them a lot. I think there was even some in the Clone Wars, but it's an AT-RT. And it's like a little single-man vehicle that helps you get around a little better. It looks a lot like an AT-ST with the legs and everything, or the bigger version, the AT-AT. It's a similar type construction, but in the movie, somehow Mandalorian and Grogu get one, and they look like they're making a daring escape in snow, because you see snow down here. And you'll also notice from the trailers that there are some snow troopers and things that are in there as well, and we'll go over those Funko Pops later on that I did get in a shipment that actually is from the movie. We'll go over those at another episode, but I wanted to show you this as well because I just thought that was neat, and it is very detailed based on the actual movie. Three more things here before we wrap it up for this special May the 4th episode. I just think this is funny. Again, I got this for Christmas. My brother and sister-in-law, my in-laws, I don't have any real siblings. My wife's brother and his wife and their children, they have 4 boys when they got me this. 5 boys. At the time they gave me this, they only had 4. But this was for Christmas one year. This was a Mandalorian and Grogu Mr. Potato Head. So that's just really cool. You see there's a little potato Grogu, and it's detailed right here. You could actually take it apart, and it came with the regular Mr. Potato Head eyes and nose and top hat and everything as well. So you could make it regular or Mandalorian. The other thing here is a figure from Hasbro. It's a 10-inch figure, and Grogu is stationary on there. He's like riding on Mandalorian's back. You'll see it's pretty detailed. It is plastic. There's not a lot of articulation, like the legs don't move or anything like that. But it is cool because it is electronic. And if you press a button back here, they make all different types of noises. He said, "This is the way." There's different phrases and things that he'll say. And there's just two buttons on the back there. You'll see right here where you can press those. And it makes these electronic. So that's pretty cool with these figures. And it being such a tall, big figure. And of course, Grogu is riding on his back there. So that's really kind of neat. I wanted to show you that. That is from Hasbro as well. And the last thing we're going to do here on this special episode is this is a Doorable figure, Doorabls, which are little tiny figures. I have several of them from the other shows, but this is the first ones that I've seen from The Mandalorian, and I got this the other day at Walmart. Excuse me. I got this the other day at my local comic shop. They had free comic book day, and I went in there and got a few little things. And this is, I think I have seen them at Walmart though, as well. But this is called Adorable. And I waited, because it is a mystery figure in here. I waited to open it today when we're doing this episode, and we'll see who we've got in here. Evidently, I looked it up, and they are all Grogus, but they're Grogus from a different scene. And I will go ahead and shout out my local comic shop. It is called Top Dog Comics in Martinez, Georgia. If you're looking for a great comic shop with a lot of collectibles, especially Star Wars collectibles, go in there. They'll be glad to see you and help you out and sell you some Star Wars collectibles and a lot of other things too. Top Dog Comics in Martinez. So I got these out, and we'll go over those. And it's like a little, like lifts up there. And I think it's a scene, is what I read. And you put the scene back in there. We're going to open these up and see exactly what this is. Because I've had the little Doorable figures where they just come as single figures. But I've never had it actually be like a set here. Let's see. And this is blind unboxing. I did not know what this was. I think this goes on the back here as a scene. And look at that. We've talked about Anzellans a lot. There's 2 Anzellans on there with the Mandalorian. So this will be interesting to see what else we get here. I didn't know there was 4 little bags in this. Wonder what they all are. We'll see. That's some type of machinery or something. I guess part of the little display here. Oh. Okay, now this is kind of funny and really kind of cool. So it looks like we have gotten looks like they just pop in here based on the little grooves in the floor. And I don't know if they stay in there or they just sit in there. It looks like they just sit in there. This looks like it's IG-11, a part of him, and he's sitting on the floor here. And we actually have no, wait a minute. This is just some little inner working pieces here. And let me put it back where it was. And we have little Grogu and the little Anzellan. He's so tiny there. He's just a cute little figure. see if it actually shows. Oops. Yeah, it shows on here all the different ones. It's really kind of neat. So it puts together a scene from an episode of The Mandalorian, one I was talking about, where the Anzellans are working on IG-11. And I hope you can see that. My finger's not in the way. It's a cool little scene there that you get where the Anzellans are working on IG-11. So that's kind of a neat little blind boxing of those. And maybe I'll get another one sometime down the future. There's a lot of neat ones. Looks like there's some with Ahsoka. There's some with Luke. Looks like there's ones with a X-Wing pilot. Yeah, a lot of just cool ones that I see here from the Doorables collection. And I believe you're able to stick it right back in here. Yeah. So it almost looks like an aquarium. A little Grogu aquarium. And I'll have to find a place to put that. That is really cool. Well, that does conclude our special episode today of the Imperial Collector. A special May the 4th, Mando May episode. Like I said, we will have another episode probably closer to the release of the new movie that'll go over, like, maybe we'll do an episode where it goes over all of my Mandalorian specific items, as well as our next episode, which might be in May or June in the regular line of episodes, will hopefully be our Anakin to Darth Vader episode. And my son is hopefully going to join us for that one because Anakin Skywalker is his favorite character. And you'll remember me saying that in a past episode. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It will be released on May 4th, so May the 4th be with you. And as always, may the Force be with you as well. Good night, good evening, good afternoon, good day, whenever you're watching this.